Get down, Parker. Why do you do this every time I sit here? Stop. 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 Hey, recessionista. Hey, recessionista. Why can't I see you? Oh, shoot. Sorry. What do I have? Something that I made up. I was going to make a strawberry mojito. I didn't feel like going to the store to get some of the stuff that was needed, so I kind of took a bit from that. And so it's vodka with frozen strawberries, some simple syrup, a little bit of sparkling water, and some ice and Tito's. Not bad. I was trying to think of a Mother's Day drink. So since I'm a mother, this is going to be my Mother's Day drink. So, what are you up to? You know what? Last week, you were the only one in the first live. What happened to you the second live? They blocked both of them. My lips look too, I got too much. Too much. Oh, you got tipsy? Girl, I was toe up. And, yeah, so I played music on the second live, and they literally booted me off of YouTube. I never had that happen before. But yes, they interrupted my live and booted me off. So, yeah, it was okay, because by that time I was toe up to the flow up. Hi, Summer Rae Jones. I was toe up to the flow up. So I was like, that's okay. I'm going to try to do a live on TikTok so I can play my music. Okay. Is that Maggot? Okay, hello. Hi, Janice. Happy Mother's Day to you and to all the mothers. I put a little short out there and I feel kind of bad after Martina's response. I was debating it anyway. I was on the fence about should I do it, and I probably should have stuck with maybe not doing it because Mother's Day is a touchy holiday. Yeah. So, get down, Parker. Get down. Hi, Peaches and Cream. Get down. I see he gonna try to act crazy tonight. Do I need to get my stick? Do I? Now he was just fine till I sat in front of this camera. So how has everybody's Friday been? I am a little tired. I am. Parker, you know what? Parker ain't gotta be good. I got something for Parker. I bought me some paint sticks and you know. Hey, Tashana. Your child over here about to get the stick. You and Charlie better come get him. He about to get the stick. How come y'all didn't answer my questions this week? Only a couple of people answered the questions. Y'all don't even read my community posts, do you? Y'all might look at a video. Now y'all will come to the live, but y'all don't read my community posts. I just be putting them out there for myself. See what I'm saying? I had seen something, and I thought we would do. The month of May is Mental Health Month, and so I had seen something, and I thought it'd be kind of neat if I gave you guys a question every day for the month of May. Just something to think about. You could answer. I'm just not liking how my setup is tonight. I don't know if it's the dress. I had on something else. I'm not even going to tell y'all what happened to the outfit. So I end up trying to find something real quick because that damn Polly, y'all be talking about I'm going to be late, and I was. And that's because all my summer clothes are still in storage. I'm going to get my lazy butt up, go over there, and just pull that stuff out till I get the summer clothes. Oh, hey, Martha. Okay, so I went, maybe I need a chair. Maybe that's what it is. Hold on, y'all. Let me get a chair. Go on now, Parker. Go on, Parker. Okay, maybe that'll be better. Bye. Go. Keep. Now I need to move my plug so I can do my camera right. Mark, I'm gonna open the door so you can go outside because you're really trying to get on my nerves right now. And I know you're doing that just so I can put you out. I'm gonna put you out. You could care less about me until I decide to sit in front of this phone. Okay, let's see if I can get myself together here. That gives me a little bit more light. And I'm sitting up. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I'm looking really large in this dress. Thank you, receptionista. You know what? It is what it is. This is what y'all get. I should have just kept on what I had on and not tried to even put anything on. Okay, so, yeah, so May is the month they designate for mental health. So I thought I'd put the questions out there, and I went and looked real quick, and I think I'm correct on this, on the 4 questions. It is, have you accomplished all the goals that you have wanted to? If you had unlimited resources, what is one thing that you would change in the world? Hey, Polly. Don't worry about whether I was on time, Polly. I just talked about you in that. Oh, Lovecraft is in the chat. Well, hello. How are you? Y'all, what was the other 2 questions? One was, have you achieved the goals that you set for yourself? If you had unlimited resources, what's one thing you would change in the world? Oh, what is your purpose for being here? And I can't remember the 4th one. So I had a few people, not a whole lot. Some of y'all were nice enough to work with me on this. So I think today I give us one memory, one really, how did I put it? Great memory from your childhood with your mom, or your aunt, your grandmother, whoever raised you, the female that was important to you in your life. Recessionista, if you had unlimited resources, you would create affordable housing for everyone. somebody, and I can't remember who it was, so don't get mad at me. They had said that they would do a school like Oprah had in Africa for boys and girls. Peaches and Cream, her last goal is retirement. She is on track. Um, with my goals, I have achieved the majority of the goals that I have set for myself and surpassed some. And then there are some that I set later in life that, like I'm with Peaches, retirement is my last. But for the most part, I've been able to um, accomplish them or at least be working on them and doing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my goals is to continue to travel. So I am traveling, not as much as I would like, but once the retirement comes, then I can travel more. Um, Free healthcare, Martin. I like that. I like the fact about the housing and the healthcare. What would I do if I had unlimited resources? I think that education for anybody who chose to want to go to college, a tech school, or whatever the case may be, whatever you wanted to learn, you could learn it for free, at no, well, at least at no cost to you. And get down. I would definitely make mental health care free. So that would go along with the medical. So I guess I wouldn't have to waste my money on that since somebody else covered that. And child care. Okay, that's great. Research for cancer. Polly, I watched your video on that today. I don't watch the lady that you were talking about, but I did watch your whole video on that. I mean, it was kind of sad, but it was a good video. Very informational. So, if we all were using our unlimited resources, we would have free health care, a place to stay, free education, child care for our children, and money for research for cancer, and I'm sure along the lines of that, there would be other research. So that's good. Okay, we talked about have you achieved the goals that you set for yourself. And goals are something that, I was looking at the goals that I set for myself when I was younger. And have I achieved them as I've gotten older? Because I've added goals to my list as I've gotten older. What was it? Goals, unlimited resources. Oh, what is your purpose for being here? Martina did answer that. I really liked her answer. It was, I don't even want to try to repeat it. Y'all go and look at that. Her answer in the comments because it was a really good comment. And Marta, if you want to, you could put it in the comments again because I really did like her answer. My purpose for being here. I know God gave me a big mouth for a reason. And for one, is to spread the gospel, but not in the way that most people think of spreading the gospel. And for me to be able to assist people in their mental health journey. I really believe that that's my calling, and they intertwine with each other, because I'm not that person that's just going to sit and spit out scriptures to you and all that, but I do feel like I intertwine God in my conversations and when I'm talking to people and interacting with them. So, okay, and so with our when we talk about our purpose for being here, do you all think that you have achieved the purpose for what you're here for? Am I making sense? Like, if you feel like God put you here as a healer, have you been able to walk in that purpose and to fulfill being a healer while you're here. Oh no, Tashana, that's fine. Hang with your children. It's Mother's Day weekend. Let them spend time with their mama. They don't get to spend that much time with you because you're always on the road. A calming spirit. And are you using your ability to be a calming spirit to assist others? Because it's one thing for us to know our purpose for being here. It's another thing to be walking in that purpose. And what I find is most people don't even realize that God gave us all gifts and talents. And I don't think anybody's here for nothing, for no reason. But a lot of people leave here without ever knowing why they were here. Or if they did know, they didn't walk in what they were here to do. What are you doing? I don't know about that, but there has to be a reason, right? I mean, when I had the deadly, yes, but also, Paulie, it may be also that you're getting to use that testimony to help other people, because when I was listening to you today, you gave out some really useful information, but also you were assisting someone else who might be in that same situation now, who needed that, who don't have the support like you said, and you were being a support for them. So, sometimes the things we go through in life is not necessarily just for us, it's for somebody else. And for us to be able to share what we went through to assist someone else. We all need help, Pauline. None of us are an island. We like to think that we are, but we were created to need each other and to assist each other, whether we don't want to or not. Even like you have monks who live up in monasteries and don't associate with anybody else, but guess what? It's not one monk by himself, it's monks. So there's more than one monk there because they're assisting each other and helping each other, and normally helping the community. So we're not an island by ourselves. If that was the case, then when we were created, then we only need to create one person. Why create everybody else? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Where are you going, Recessionista? Yeah. I like that, Martina, because we don't have many people who even care about integrity. I mean, look at the state of affairs of the United States right now. So, and for people to, I mean, look at it. If I say to you guys, how many people do you know that when they give you their word, you can depend on it 100%? How many people do you know that you can do that? Oh, that's okay, Lovecraft. We're just glad you're here. I made up my own drink. I was trying to find a Mother's Day drink, and I was going to make a strawberry mojito, but I didn't feel like going to the store to get all the stuff, so I just used what I had. So I have frozen strawberries with some sparkling water, ice, Tito's, and a little bit of simple syrup. So, it's not that strong. I'm supposed to have lunch with my grandbaby tomorrow, so, I had to have my wits about myself. But then y'all know me. She might be toe up before 9 o'clock. Are you on your way to get you some Tito's and olives? You gonna make a dry martini? I'm gonna have to make me one of those. I don't know if I can handle that. That's kind of strong. You're going to dance tonight? Oh, Polly, they kicked me off of YouTube last week. They kicked my butt right off. I was just like, I'm gonna do a live, like I was telling them earlier. I'm gonna do a live on TikTok. So I can play my music. A dirty martini, and that's just with. Is that with vodka, vermouth, and an olive? And what is vermouth really? What is that? I used to hear them talk about it on Bewitched. Because of the music, and then they blocked both videos. Well, the first one they blocked right out the back. The one that was only pretty much me and Recessionista and some other people. And then the second one, I call myself trying to monetize it, which I knew I shouldn't have because it was still up the next day. So some people said they did get to see it. But that was okay because I knew they were going to do that. I had fun, so that was all that mattered. Oh, and let me say this. My sister got all on me because I was thanking people that was in the live and I forgot about her. But I told her, girl, I was toe up. She knew that. And she family. I mean, I didn't forget about her, but I forgot to mention her. So, Fuego, thank you for being in the live last week, ma'am. Because you can't play music. You can play, and it depends. Like if somebody, okay, let's say I could really sing, and I wanted to sing, like Chris wanted Tracy Chapman, Fast Cars. If I sing Fast Cars, it's okay. But I can't play Tracy Chapman singing Fast Cars because she's not going to make any money off of it, and because they will monetize our videos, and we get this chump change, 3 cents on a commercial or whatever. If you don't use too much music, then what they'll do is take whatever you make on that video and give it to the artist, which, hey, I'm all right with that. But somebody was saying it's okay probably on TikTok because TikTok is not an American company. As of yet. You know, that's still up in the air what they're going to do with the TikTok. So, my last, hey Scorpio mama. So my last question was today, and it really wasn't a question. It was, could you think of one really great memory that you had with the woman who, it might have been your mom, your grandmother, your aunt, a neighbor, I don't know. Everybody has a woman that was important to them in their life coming up. And so one really great memory with that person since we were coming up on Mother's Day. It's an Italian, aromatized, fortified, oh really? Really? I did not know that that was a wine. Wow. Okay, thank you, Martina. That's my education moment for tonight. You know what? And I hadn't even thought of one. Let me see if I can think of one real quick with my mother, because she is such a card. Let's see. It is nasty by itself, so I don't see how it's a wine, but hey. Johnsel Cranberry. Hey. I think I mean, because there's a lot of memories that I have that I enjoyed with my mother. But one of the things I appreciated was like every Friday when we were younger, she would take us out, like it would be the McDonald's, because that's what we always wanted, McDonald's. And so But what she would do, like maybe one Friday out the month, she would take us to eat different type of food. Because for her, coming from the country, she wasn't exposed to a whole lot of different types of cuisines. And so she thought it was important for us to be able to go and eat. Somebody invite us to their home or out to dinner, and we're not sitting there saying, I don't want to eat that, I don't want to try that. And so she would take us out to eat Mexican, Italian, Chinese, or whatever, so that we would be exposed to different cuisines. So when we wouldn't just be sitting there saying, I don't like something because we never tried it. We would have tried it and maybe found a dish that we like. So yeah, I'm a foodie, so I thoroughly enjoyed that. Let's see with Polly. My Aunt Mary, who passed at 41 of cancer. Me and my mom didn't have much, but she treated me. Yeah, I was listening to you say that she treated you like a second mom. She was like a second mom to you, and she would take you out, and y'all would go to, where did we go? Y'all would go to bingo, and do different things. And that was really nice of your aunt to do that. That she recognized that your mom didn't have a whole lot, and so because of that, she stepped in and did things with you so that you could be exposed and being able to do things even though your mom couldn't afford it at the time. I am well, Johnzelle. How are you? Oh, she would go to bingo 3 times a day? Oh, how much was bingo back then? Because bingo is kind of expensive now. I haven't been in years. Years. Maybe I should do that since I went to the movies the other week. Maybe I should go play some bingo. My problem is, you got to really concentrate with bingo because them people don't play. Them regulars, they have a whole thing full of cards. And, you can't, I like to talk and all that, and they don't be wanting to socialize. They want you to shut the hell up so they can make sure they don't miss a number. Oh, that was sweet. That reminds me of the roses my mom used to have. They wasn't like, roses that would win prizes. Though her yard did win yard of the month a lot of times. But you know how people have the rose bushes and they're just kind of, they just kind of wild looking roses. But she used to have the red ones and the pink ones. I'm trying to think if we had yellow. I know we had red and pink. And I was looking at somebody's yard the other day, and reminded me of the fact that my mom her yard was a big thing for her, especially when we were like on Fort Jackson, and they would go around and look at all the different yards out on the post. And for you to get yard of the month, it was a big deal. So she would have, because matter of fact, when we moved here, there was nothing but sand in the front yard. There was no grass. So she had my stepfather go and get sod, and they put that all down, and we had grass, we had the roses, we had all these flowers that she planted, and then in the back she had tomatoes. I know peppers. I'm not sure what else, but I know I used to pick the tomatoes and just eat them like apples with a little salt and pepper. And you know what, Polly? Those are those professional bingo players. I think they set them up in a way so that maybe they can look down one row of so many cards and see the numbers. You know what I'm saying? And you can't sit next to them. Don't talk to them. Don't mess with them because they are them serious bingo players. I used to play bingo at the club, and so you want to drink. So my thing was, I win, maybe I don't win, but I used to play happy hour bingo. And y'all know I'm a talk. Oh, you know what, Shoshana? I was thinking about those rose bushes a lot lately. So I had said I was going to try to see if I could grow me some roses in, the 5 or 10 gallon buckets that you can use to put paint in, like from Lowe's or Home Depot. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can grow me a couple of rose bushes. I've never tried to grow roses. All I do is plants. So we will see. Did your mom tell you what you may need to do to keep them? Because I know that bugs like to eat them like they like to eat tomatoes. I did manage to do tomatoes one time, though. So I know my mom used to have a problem with the bugs. But I was thinking about trying to do, I'm sorry, I thought one of them outdoor bugs flew in here, a container garden. Because I really can't, I guess I could probably dig up the backyard. He probably wouldn't mind, but you just planted it? You planted it at home or you got it where it's with you and Charlie? Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow after I have lunch. Is go find me a rose bush and plant it. This would be a good weekend to plant it in honor of my mother and it's Mother's Day weekend, and we'll see if it's here next Mother's Day. Blocks and pumpkins. Who the heck is Blocks and Pumpkins? I've never seen you before in my chat. Where are you from? Smoke one what, please? Does anybody else have a memory that they would like to share? In the yard, okay. Okay, but do you have to do anything to keep the bugs away? Yeah. That's why I was gonna get a little cheap. You know how they sell the rose bushes with in the little bag. I was just gonna get a little inexpensive one because I am not. I have never tried to grow a rose, and I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of money on one. So I will do that, Martin. I buy a lot of my plants on Facebook Marketplaces. I'm thinking tomorrow. Oh my gosh, in Charlotte, and I was like, this don't make no sense for you to drive Charlotte, but she has a house. Her whole house is like a planetarium or something. But her plants are beautiful, and she had them out there on Facebook Marketplace, and she was selling them pretty inexpensively. And I was like, oh, but she's in Charlotte. But we have a really big plant what's it called? Plant festival type thing coming this month, end of the month. My sister sent me um, the promo for it, so I think you got to buy tickets in advance. I need to check with her too because we're gonna go. And they have the gigantic plants, so I want some to go upstairs. I'm gonna have to have my son come over here and take them up there. That's why some of these ain't made them up there. They made it to right where I carried them to. Well, that's why the one rose bush that I'm going to try to grow will be outside in the corner of the yard because I don't need no beetles. My sister went and picked something from outside, some plant that she seen that looked really good and brought it in her house and ended up having some type of beetle bugs that had came up out of it. I'm like, girl. And then she made her some magnolia tea, and she's making magnolia wine, and she made some honeysuckle tea, and she's making honeysuckle wine from the honeysuckle and the magnolia bushes she got outside her house. Her wine is pretty good. Now I've never tried her magnolia or honeysuckle. This is her first time doing that, but her other wine is good. I tried to make some muscadine wine, but then I was afraid to drink it. So I don't even mess with it. Both my sisters can make wine, and it's really good. Nobody else has a story that they want to share? Okay. Everybody feeling good about this weekend? Anybody feeling down? I hope not. I really want you guys to concentrate this month, especially because May is Mental Health Month, doing some things that will lift your spirit up. I tell you, walking has really done something for me. I don't necessarily like the walks I do with Parker. Oh my gosh. Like today, I did it too late, and there was a lady with her big old dog out there. Her dog was trying to get away from her, and she did like I do with Parker. If I take him out the door and he start cutting up, I just bring him back and put him inside the fence, and then I go walking. I'm saying this from not having a parent who has passed. So I want y'all to be mindful of that. Both of my parents are still here and kicking. But we always think about people who are gone, about the fact that they're gone. But I always say to myself that I wanted to be able to celebrate the things that they liked when their birthday or Mother's Day or things like that come up. So like for my mom, of course, she loves to have a drink. So I would probably have a drink for her, and then I'd probably buy some because she loves to shop. So I'd probably go in the store and look at some stuff that I knew that she would like, and listen to some music because she always loved music and dancing. And so those are things that I would probably do to celebrate her because those are good memories that I have of my mother. Things that represent who she was as not just my mom, but as a woman. You know, so I encourage you all to maybe take some time out this weekend to do something that, for those who have lost their mom, something that your mom really enjoyed doing. And maybe you can make it a tradition with your family, with your kids. I would hate to think that if when I'm no longer here that my son would just mourn the fact that I'm not here because I'm such a lively person that I would hope that he would turn on some music, put on some colorful clothes, and they would just dance and have a good old time. Like I told them, when I leave here, I want to be cremated because I don't believe in spending all that money and putting me in a box that's going to deteriorate and my body's going to deteriorate and you spend all that money to put it in the ground. Okay, it may be tradition, but I'm not for it. Put me in an urn, take me to a park somewhere. I think it is illegal to sprinkle it, but you could get away with it. Sprinkle me on some plant, something that's going to keep coming back, you know. And then I don't want anybody to wear black to the service. I wear black, but not a whole lot, as y'all can tell. I'm a very colorful person. So everybody wears some bright colors, some pink, some orange, some yellows, some greens. Play some lively music. I don't want no slow, sad hymns or anything like that. Play some I don't know, some Al Green or something like that. I mean, I want it to be a lively occasion because I was a lively person. I don't know if they would be able to find a pastor who's going to go along with all that. But hey, if it's written and that's what I want, then I think it should be honored. Who's going to twerk for me? Oh, my son, are you going to twerk for me, Polly? Let me see you twerk in one of your videos. You and Annabelle be over there twerking. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. See, I like that, planting the tree. The tree is going to be here years and years and years afterwards. And it's something that the whole family can enjoy. You know, the grandkids, people that walk by. I mean, that's something that lives on. And it's a living memory. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Maybe I'll add that to my wheel. Planting a tree. Maybe like a fruit tree, like a plum tree or a peach tree or a crabapple tree, something like that. That comes back and bears fruit that people can enjoy. Or a magnolia tree. I love magnolia trees. They're big. The flowers are humongous. We have so many here. They are so nice. And I love dogwood trees, even though it messes with my allergies. But I do love. You can always tell when it's time for spring because we have dogwood trees everywhere. And then there's this purple. I don't know. I can't think of the name of it, but it's a purple flower that blooms in July around here because that's where I got the color for my wedding. I had my wedding had colors of purple from like burgundy, fuchsia, some fuchsia, all the purples in it. But it started with that plant. So I don't, let me see if I looked at any current affairs this week. Not too much, other than we got a new pope. One of my friends had sent me something saying that one of the popes that was in the running was a African pope, and he was like, they elected him, and I was like, no, they didn't, because if they had elected a black African pope, it would have been around the world. But they did elect an American pope who speaks like, I think he speaks like 16 different languages. That is so awesome. Are you going to take you and your mom and spread it in the ocean? That's what I had wanted. I wanted to be in a body of water, but then I changed it to plants, a park or something. So we got an American Pope from Chicago, and he's from the Augustine line, which I did a lot of papers on St. Augustine. I actually got an A and got to read one of my papers in front of the staff, the teacher, the body. They had a luncheon, and my professor was so impressed with my paper on angels that for me to read it in front of the staff at their luncheon. But St. Augustine was one of the people that I really enjoyed doing research on and reading about, and the paper was based on his thoughts on angels. And if I'm not mistaken, St. Augustine was the one that did a paper on the first cause. Oh, that's nice, Tashana. That's nice. I have to go back, but I think St. Augustine was the one that did a paper on the first cause, which I found extremely interesting because it was on what was the first thing that caused everything. Because you got people who believe that God created the world, and you got those who believe that it was a Big Bang Theory. You got those who believe we came from primates and stuff like that. But the one thing that nobody can ever determine is what's the first thing that started everything. And the only thing I found so far is God. Because even with the other theories, they may have the Big Bang, but what created everything that created the Big Bang? You know what I'm saying? What put the planets here first to start the Big Bang? What put the animals here that we supposedly came from? So, yeah, it's a pretty, I know I'm going to a little bit scholarly right now, but it's a pretty interesting read. The pastor that I had told me that she would not do my service if I wanted to be cremated, which I didn't understand that because she said that God didn't believe in cremation and that I wouldn't be able to get into heaven and all this. But my thing was this, okay, so people who got burnt up in fires, because all of us, we're going back to dirt. So what difference does it matter if I get burnt sooner than my body decaying and going to dirt? What's the difference? That might be it, Martina. They have like this purple, they kind of hang. They are so beautiful. I'll have to find a picture. And maybe it might be wisteria. But my thing is, we're gonna go back to dust. Our bodies are not gonna stay like this. The longer they're in the ground, the longer they're going to, decay. So what's the difference of me burning it down versus it doing it on his own and going to dust. But I do know that a lot of people don't believe in cremation. For me, I just think that it's economical. I can't see spending all that money for what? When there are people here, like my son and my grandchildren and other family members and stuff, that could use the resources. Thank you. And this is just a covering, a place to house our spirit. So this, you know, means absolutely nothing really. Oh, I think I've heard of that, Martina. That is, do y'all see that? For those of you who are like me that want to be cremated and planted into something, that's good. A bio urn. That's what I'm saying. What about all those people that, yeah, recessionista? Do they not get a choice because they didn't decide that's how they wanted to leave here? So, sometimes I think we add stuff because nowhere in the Bible does it say you can't be cremated. Matter of fact, it doesn't really say how you have to leave here, other than you're going to leave here. So, my body should remain intact for Judgment Day. Okay, so people who died in the 1800s, do you think their bodies are still intact? They're not. They have decayed and they're gone. And people even before that, this body is not going to last being in the ground. So, and then from what I was taught, for Judgment Day, it's not going to be necessarily a body. It's more going to be a spiritual body. And I look at it like this. If God created this body in the first place, if he wants us on Judgment Day to be in the same body, he can just put us all back in the bodies that he created us in. He's God. So, I don't really foresee us necessarily having to be in these bodies on Judgment Day, because if he knows every hair on my head, he knows the dirt that I'm in, whether I was burnt at a crematory or I'm dust in a box that has decayed also. So, as far as I know, this body means absolutely nothing. And that's what I'm saying. If I'm going to go back to dust, what's the difference between me burning myself and going back to dust quicker than me decaying and going to dust? Dust is dust. Dirt is dirt. I have never read anything that says that you can't be cremated. So, I think it's an individual choice. I don't think that God is going to hold those of us who want to be cremated and say, oh, you can't make Judgment Day because you were cremated. I don't think that. I think we as humans could add a lot of stuff to God's word because it pleases us, and that's what we were taught to believe. Something as simple as my mother and my grandmother most definitely used to always say, cleanliness is next to godliness. That is not in the Bible anywhere. There's nothing in the Bible talking about cleanliness is next to godliness. That is something that we were just told for years and years and years and years and years. Just like God puts things in the sea of forgetfulness. That's not in the Bible either. There are things that people have said over years, and people just assume that It's part of the Bible, and it's not. Like when people say to me about smoking, there is not one scripture in the Bible, and that would be in the Bible that has been canonized, in the books that we know, and the books that we don't use. If you get the, I think it's called the Apocryphy Bible, it has the missing books. Nothing in there talks about smoking. It, so there are things that we add, like I say, because we've been taught that. That's what people believe. And there's nothing wrong with having your beliefs. Hi, Fit to be flexing, long time no see. How are you? And I think it's an individual choice. That's what I want to have done. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't knock anybody for wanting to have a funeral and being buried. That's up to you. It's individual choice. No, I am not interested in Tina Knowles' new book about her life and life experiences whatsoever. I'm not a big Tina Knowles fan. I find her to be rude sometimes. I think she's a little bougie. Now, I don't know her personally. Yeah, she's just, but I'm not a Beyonce fan either. So, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all the things, I'm just not. Mm-hmm. The Bible does say that, Peaches. And people can point out people who drink, people who smoke, people who do drugs, people who have sex and all that. But there's a lot of ways to defile your body. Not just the ones that they like talking about in church. You can defile your body in a lot of ways. And people don't look at the whole totality of how you can defile the temple that God gave you. Now, when I was a practicing Christian, no, I did not drink and I did not smoke because I didn't want to defile my body. But then after I really looked at it, the Bible talked about drinking. It said, don't be a drunkard. If I drank every day and was an alcoholic, then I would think maybe that would be defiling my body. Is cigarette smoke good for you? No, it is not. But then eating a whole lot of sugar is equally as bad. Overeating is equally as bad. Not getting enough rest defiles your body because your temple's not getting enough rest. Hearing things that are not positive for you. So there's a lot of ways to defile oneself. I don't understand, and I spend money that ways that other people wouldn't spend money, okay? And if you have $500 that you want to spend to go to a Beyonce concert because her tickets are not cheap, hey, it's your money. You can do with it as you please. But I am not going to spend $500 to sit and watch Beyonce from way back here when I can sit right in front of my TV and see the same show. Yeah, I like Rihanna much better. I think of... Ooh, y'all, hold on. Hold that thought. I need to go to the bathroom. Okay, let me play catch up. Uh, well, in singing, music is an individual thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my sister is a singer, so she's more into how the person sounds, probably more vocally because she is a singer. But I'm a person that, how does this song make me feel? Okay? And I really like people who have different types of voices. That's why I like Tracy Chapman, Jesse Reyes. I was listening to a girl today named Grace somebody. I like different types of voices. Macy Gray. I like that. Jelly Roll. Um, People like that because their voices are distinctly different. So music is an individual choice. I am not sold out on any artist where I want to spend a whole lot of my hard earned money to go see them in concert when I can watch them and jam right in my house. Um, so, yeah, is she pregnant? Because I seen her at the Mets. What, isn't it the Mets? Whatever that big thing they have every year, the Mets. And I was gonna say, is she pregnant? Because I had heard she was pregnant and I heard she wasn't. Yeah, package. Well, hi, package plug. I've never seen you in the chat. I like songs that have a meaning too. So it really depends on why you listen to whoever you listen to. But when it comes to their lifestyles, um, I I think sometimes people have a platform and they can be a positive role model or they can be a negative role model or they can be all about them. Personally, I think of Beyonce, her mama, her Beyonce husband, and all that as just people who is all about the money, their image, and all that. I think Jay Z is so busy trying to um, make a name for himself so that he can take away the stigma of being brought up in the hood. I don't know what Beyonce's whole deal is, why she got with that old man in the first place, other than he probably turned her out. Why her mama and them kind of sold her out so that they all could be somebody. You know what I'm saying? To me, it seems to be all about image and money. So I liked Rihanna simply because, to me, she was a woman that got out there, and because she realized that she had gotten herself into a bad record deal, she decided she wasn't going to sing no more till the record deal ran out. But then she decided that she was going to take the money that she had made and become a billionaire with it. And I love her. I don't know about y'all, but I love her Savage line. I love the underwear, the bras. They're sexy. They feel good. They give good support and all that. If you haven't bought any, she does have a good line. The makeup, I never really wore her makeup. I just think she's very creative in what she's done. And I like the fact that she came from where she came from and became a billionaire as a woman. Hey, Melly Melly. As far as the Blue Ivy, I think that because, she's a young girl, she's looking at her mother. Her mother is her role model. From what I heard, she went to mom and said, hey, can I, be in your show? And why wouldn't she put her in her show? It's her daughter. I think if it's what she wants to do, great. I don't think she should be forced to do it or do it just because mom does it. She may be doing it now. She may turn 16 and decide she don't want to do it. I think that's an individual choice. I felt really bad that people really picked on that little girl when she first came out, simply because that was Beyonce's daughter. That was the negative part of putting her out there because people scrutinize the artists and their families and their children so much. But yeah, that's on them. I did notice though, you too, Andrea. I did notice though that they showed a clip of a song that Beyonce sung, and then she had the little girl twin come out. I forget her name, and it was Beyonce. She was congratulating her mother on something. I guess it must have been the book. I don't know, but it was Beyonce, her mother, Blue Ivy, and then the little girl twin. And they keep saying they don't show the little boy because he's autistic, but there's something wrong with the little girl too because her behavior was just a bit off when she was out there with them, and Blue Ivy kept trying, her and the grandmother kept trying to kind of rein her in. But I'm not sure what happened, but there's something going on with the twins, which is fine. A lot of people have autistic children. I can understand them not wanting them out in the public a whole lot because people are going to have a lot to say. But yeah, there's something going on with the twins. That whole Nicki Minaj and her marrying this guy and the whole rape situation, and I don't even know what all that is. I have never been a Nicki Minaj fan, even when she was like the Barbie doll girl with the pink hair and all that stuff. She's never been my cup of tea. So I have watched Cardi B and like her more than I've liked Nicki Minaj. But all these people, this is what I look at. All these younger artists who have come out, they're totally different from the artists that I used to listen to. I didn't know what was going on in Aretha life until years later. I didn't know what was going on in the Ohio player's life still, even till this day. I don't know. I didn't know who they married. Matter of fact, the only reason why I know who some of these people that I listened to in the 70s and stuff married and what they had going on is because you got stuff on YouTube now where they go back and dig up what's going on with the people and tell us now. So yeah, I don't need to know all that. I just want to hear your music. So I don't need to know about Nicki's husband and the stuff he had going on. Because if that's who she want to marry, that's who she want to marry. You know what I'm saying? I don't have an interest in needing to know every little thing about the artist that I listen to, though I don't listen to her. Uh, um, the Met Gala. I love looking at what people wear to the Met Gala. This year it had to do with gangsters and 20s. If what's his name? The guy that did the song "I'm Happy." I'm happy. He was the one that started wearing the big hats that all the men wear now. What is his name? Because his wife is taller than him. Whatever his name is, he did a whole spread because he was one of the people that helped Anna this year with the Met. And the thing was gangsters and 20s and all that. And some people really did well. Matter of fact, they did a whole spread with black artists and their fashions. I'm gonna have to say this. They was off the chart on their fashions. I'm telling you. The black artists and the designers that did them was A+++++. They were awesome. Now some of these other people, now Diana Ross was there. And she just looked like Diana Ross. I didn't think her outfit was really a 20s thing. But she looked very nice. I don't know if Diana's had any work done. But she was beautiful. I think she's like 70 something now. 72, 73. Or she might be in her 80s. I could be wrong. She might be in her 80s. Only thing I thought was the shoes they had her on was way, way too high. She could barely walk in them. Her son and all these other people had to help her. But yeah, she looked beautiful. You're right, Package Plug. I think that being autistic, it shouldn't be where you shouldn't be able to be out in public. But I understand why they're probably doing it because everybody knows them and people are going to talk about their children and you just don't want that to happen. Okay. Well, I thought it had something to do with the 20s and gangsters and all. Pharrell, there we go. But then he did a whole photo spread and with the artists and that he worked with and some of the designers, and it was beautiful. And what's her name was one of the hosts that I seen doing the fashions. She is really coming up. She's a singer, beautiful young lady. Matter of fact, she's in a movie that's coming out soon. Oh man, because the outfit she had on was so awesome. It was burgundy. It had feathers and all this stuff. What is? I can't think of nobody's name. But she's a tall young lady, but she's a singer. I had never really heard of her till about last year, and I actually ended up hearing about her because her ex-husband was out here talking about her doing foolishness, and that's how she came on my radar because of YouTube. There you go, Recessionista. She has a beautiful voice. I mean, she is up and coming. I have just seen her in so many things lately. She's just a beautiful young lady, so I wish her much, much success. I know she's been out here for a while, but all of a sudden now, she's getting her break. Mm. My understanding that he's being accused of not SA, but grape of 4 women. Now, I don't know if it's been since he's been in his 80s. I think the SA might be more recent, but I do know that, yeah, they pulling the covers off of his bull crap too. And the thing is, it's just that these people have gotten away with so much stuff because of their status. And now people are coming out and telling it in a season where people will listen, because I'm sure that some of these people tried to tell it before, but back then nobody wanted to hear about that. If you was an artist, a star, a politician, or whoever that had some money and some clout, nobody wanted to hear about what they were doing to you. You were considered just a lowly person, just making noise. In this season now, people are listening. So, and we can thank Mr. Sean Combs for assisting in that. Uh, yeah. And you know what, Recessionista? Speaking on that topic, I was talking to one of my sons, and he did something like that. Well, the thing was, his girlfriend wanted to give him that as a birthday gift. And matter of fact, it changed the dynamics in their relationship to where they're no longer together. And they had been dating for 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. But like I told him, bringing a third party into your bedroom is not something you do with your partner. It may be something, if that's what you want to experience, that you do with 2 other people that you ain't with, that you just having your jollies and having fun. But you don't do that with your wife, your husband, your partner long term, someone you're talking about wanting to marry, because it never goes well. And ladies, listen to me. If your man makes that request, you need to tell him an absolute no, and then I want to know why. Am I not enough for you? Because it never goes right. Something always goes wrong behind that, whether it's the 2 women or the man and the woman, whatever the case may be. It always causes issues unless you are a couple, and that's the kind of stuff you do on a regular, such as swing and do all this kind of stuff like that. But just for the average couple, and they want to give this as a gift, as a birthday gift or an anniversary gift and all that, And see, that's on with you, Recessionista. If we going to bring a woman in, and then what man are we bringing in? Because it never works well. I'm telling you. It is just a recipe to mess up your relationship. Because he said to me, he said, hey, Mom, I wish that we had never done that. He said, because after the fact, I looked at her differently. Because it was interesting that the girlfriend chose a friend of hers that lived down the street. Well, it just so happened that the friend was a bi woman and she wanted to be with his girlfriend. So she jumped on that opportunity. I don't know what transpired because as a mom, I didn't need to know all the details. But he did say that after that little situation went down, he looked at her differently and their relationship was never the same. And so I tell women, don't do it. Don't do it. Um, yeah, just don't do it. Smokey gonna get his if they have proof, Smokey gonna get his like Bill got his, Diddy getting his, Weinstein getting his, he gonna get it. It don't matter if you 80. Some of these men think they gonna hopefully die before the stuff come out, and maybe they will, like Hugh Hefner, but some of them may not. I mean, I had someone actually broach me, but we were talking about fantasies. So it wasn't like they just came out and said, hey, they were talking about what one of their fantasies was. And it was to have a woman do oral on the woman they're with. And I told them, let me tell you something. If I'm your woman, that ain't happening. That is a absolute no. And as a man, you might not want it to happen because she might outdo you. But I'm like, hey, that's something that you can do with whatever woman you dating, or do it with two women who choose to want to do that for you. I'm sure you can pay somebody to do that. Um, well, people look at, but now you have to say, Martin, are they dishonoring their vows if both adults sit down and say, this is something that we want to do within our marriage and make an agreement on it? Are they dishonoring their vows? Child, I don't know how many wives he done had. But this might not be something he did now. I don't know what age he was when he was doing this stuff. But even if he's doing the SA now, she ain't got nothing to do with that. Really, package plug? So if something happened to, let's say, a 16-year-old, and they're not able to tell their truth until they're 26, they shouldn't be able to file a criminal charges. Do you know how much more SA would be going on if men knew that within 10 years they couldn't be charged? I'm glad they changed the laws in a lot of states where you can charge them, because it just so happened that now they are pulling back the time, because there are, I'm sure here in South Carolina, we probably still got it where if it's past a certain amount of time, you can't press criminal charges against them, which is unfair because the SA or the grape could have been done when they were very young, or it could be a situation where it was a power thing. They may lose their job or whatever the case may be. I think if you commit the crime, it should be like murder. You should be able to prove that they did it regardless of how many years it's been. Okay, I thought he was younger than 80, but he knew what he was doing. If he was in his 20s, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, he still knew what he was doing. And he did it because he could. It's not like these people are doing stuff that they were so confused or so young they didn't understand. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they did it because they could do it. It's just that people are now telling on them. My thing is, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. And I would say the same thing if they came out and said Gladys Knight was SAing some of her backup singers after her brothers passed or whatever the case may be. It would apply to her too. if they said Beyonce or somebody, because they did have stuff come out saying that Beyonce was extremely hard and stuff on her dancers, and it wasn't SA, but it was abuse. They did have some of the dancers sue her for that. I mean, if you're doing this to other people, because I would bet to venture to say that the things that they are doing to others are things that they do not want done to them, or it could have been a situation where things were done to them and that's why they feel it's okay. Like, I don't know what they did to Britney Spears, but I'm gonna tell y'all, that girl ain't right. That woman. Because when she was under her conservatory, I started looking at her on Instagram, and I'm gonna tell y'all, every single day this woman dances with either a bikini or some underwear, or underwear and a bra, or is she gonna have a dress or a skirt on where she pulls it all the way down so you can literally see her or she's spanking her butt and all this stuff, and the thing is, she don't know how to dance. So all the dancing she doing is like different bits of routines that she was taught that no longer looks good on a woman her age with her hair plugs in. And she don't put no comments on because the comments were horrible when she used to let the comments be on there. But I don't know what they did to her. But they did some horrible things to her because she was talking about being abused by every man that she had ever been with. And it is definitely being demonstrated out by her in her life right now. And the thing is, okay, yeah, it's free her. I don't know if she has anybody over her now because, she married that guy. He was a cute fella. I don't know what happened because they didn't stay married a good year. But she probably needs somebody that's trustworthy to assist her because she got some mental things going on. And I would say it's at the hands of the industry. It is. I don't think that girl was like that before she got on the Mickey Mouse show and everything that's happened transpired after that because she says she's been abused by every man that's ever come into her life. And she says she don't even want a man. She says that she now wears sexy lingerie for herself because she would never wear it for them because of how horrible the things were that they did to her. Now, if she ever decides to write a book, now her book, I would buy and read. Yeah, I don't know. The only reason I could say Diana had an affair with Barry was to move up and maybe become a solo singer because Barry wasn't no catch. I'm just saying. And we all know she had that affair, and I don't know why they thought they could lie because the daughter looked just like her and Barry. I'm just like, come on, the oldest daughter, she looked just like a combination of Barry, Gordy, and Diana. She's got the big old eyes like Diana. She's not under the conservatorship, but she needs some. I would say she needs a very trustworthy person to assist her because the things that were done to her still affects her life tremendously. And when I say that, I mean tremendously. But a lot of them was spreading it wide and laying it low back then. That's what you did to be able to come up. You think she became Donna Ross just from not spreading it wide and laying it low? Most women whose names that you know in the movie business, the singing business, and all that kind of stuff like that made it because they laid it, spread it wide and laid it low for the right person. She has quite a bit of money left, but he did spend a lot, and I was just like, wow, that's just. I couldn't imagine doing that to my son. I could not imagine putting my son in the industry and him working all these years for me to sit back and spend his money on bullcrap that I didn't even need. But I was supposed to be there to protect them, but I pretty much sold them over to the devil. And that's how I look at Beyonce mom and daddy. That these people sell their children over to the industry so that they can have money. and things. Oh, Justin Bieber is another one. The stuff they did to him, and see, and that's the sad part to me. My son is an awesome singer. He wanted to be in the industry years ago, and it was an absolute no. Um, the only way he could have been is if I had been. I'm trying to think of somebody whose parents was with them. Okay, sort of like Brandy's mama. Brandy mama didn't play. She was in on every deal. She was there. Now Ray J has gone to do his own stuff, but for the most part, she kept her hands on what was going on with her children, and didn't just sell them out there for the money. That's how it would have had to be for me and my son, or he couldn't have went. There would have been no way in hell I would have did like Usher's mom, send my 12-year-old, 11 or 12-year-old to go live with grown ass Diddy and go to Diddy camp. No, ain't enough money in the world. Oh, in Orlando, Raven is a little bit better than Orlando. She's gone through her stuff, but since she's gotten married, but she'll say that she has issues. She's one of the ones that will talk about the issues she's had. But Orlando, have you ever just sat down and listened to an interview he does? And he's an extremely, everybody says, he's an extremely, when he comes to book sense, smart. But that industry has messed him up mentally. No, I didn't see that. I didn't watch a whole lot of the Trumpism stuff this week. Really? You, Jay-Z, and Orlando Bloom all have the same birthday. I'm gonna have to watch you, Recessionista. I'm gonna have to watch you, girl. And Tyra Banks. All of y'all are born on the same day. Wow. Well, I do know that I share the same zodiac sign as like Obama, and I want to say, because a lot of artists are Leos. A lot of politicians are Leos too. We're just natural leaders, what can I say? December 4th. Okay. Which makes y'all Sagittarius. She will tell some true Lovecraft. You just have to catch her in the right interview where she may be talking about. She shows it more or talks about it more when she's talking about her relationship with her wife and the things they've gone through. But yeah, the industry is, to me, that is a scary, scary place. Scary. Um, I mean, I knew it was bad, but I guess I didn't know it was as bad as it was. The things that these people literally had other people doing just to be able to sing a song, just to be able to play a piano, just to be able to act in a movie. You have to literally sell who you are, your whole soul, your body, your mind, your spirit. Everything about you has to be sold to them just to be able to do that. Oh, they sure will. They sure will sell them. And that's the sad part. Like, we can look and blame Sean Combs for all the things he did because he was a grown butt man when he did it. But then how many parents sent their children to auditions at hotels with this man that were underage and they themselves didn't even go? I never would have sent my son to a hotel to an audition and I not go and I not be in the room. Because if my son is coming to sing for you, why the hell can't I be in the room? Why are you need to audition my son in a bedroom? What? Money. Where my purse at? Now, this is one thing that I will agree that I hope y'all would agree with me on. That the Bible talks about is the love of money. And I normally don't even have, I think I might have a couple of dollars in here. I can't I can't make it rain like these other people, but filthy lucre on my dollar bills. I don't even know where I got these from because I don't even carry cash anymore. Filthy lucre. The filthy lucre will make these people do the things that they do. Ain't that much? They don't make enough money in the world for me to do. Not enough. Not enough money in the world for me to sell my child to another human being for them to do disgusting things to. No. Too many misquotes in that verse. It is the love of the filthy lucre. Them dollar bills sitting in my purse don't do nothing. But if I'm willing to go out here and give up everything that makes me the woman that I am for them dollar bills, that's when it's a problem. Oh yeah. Now I believe that anybody that attended them parties, that participated in that stuff, whether you actually participated in doing something or you just stood around and watched. If you, as a grown ass person, watch another grown ass person take advantage of a child, then you need to be sitting in one of the jail cells where Diddy at. And I hope that it comes to that. I hope that it does. Because there's a lot of them that needs to go down. And do know, they ain't even scraping the surface good. And I'm just not talking about the people who attend the parties. I'm talking about the ones that he sent the videos to, that looked at the pictures, the ones that he did special stuff to, that took them to some of these people that we ain't never gonna hear their name. Please. Like, we never got the real list of Jeffrey's people. And isn't it ironic, which blew my mind, that they're trying to say that that young girl, well, she's a grown woman, was a grown woman, what's her name, Jessica? All these years, she fought to bring Jeffrey Epstein up on charges and get him to have to, for justice to be served for him. And then all of a sudden, when she gets, he's dead, but they finally get the just rewards for what has happened, she just all of a sudden kills herself? That didn't make no sense. And whoever believes that is full of crap. They killed her because they wanted to make sure that whatever went on with Jeffrey Epstein never ever really got out, because we never really seen the full list. How is it that Trump said he was going to give the list up, but his name on the list, and we ain't seen that? Well, that's good for him, because even with her having 3 children and being in a healthy, as far as we know, marriage, she's still damaged. She's still damaged. And if you think she ain't, I don't see how you could live up in all that foolishness and not come out damaged. Oh, because he was doing this stuff for people with money. Look at the Abercrombie and Fitch stuff. The stuff they were doing. Oh my gosh. It was just mind blowing, the stuff they were doing. And literally showing people the stuff they were doing. If you looked at their advertisements and how they did their stores, of course, I was never one of those people that went to their store, but then they didn't want us in their store anyway. Um, I don't know why it is, okay, this is like a whole bunch of things. This is spiritual, this is physical, this is greed, this is hierarchy, this is privilege. all these things are a whole lot of things, because in the United States, it is okay for a person with money to do pretty much whatever they want. Because if it wasn't, how did we get this man that's back in the White House doing exactly what he wants to do, and nobody's telling him no? Yeah, that's what she did not, Lovecraft, she did not. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. I do not believe that she committed the S. I think they got rid of her. Oh yeah, Abercrombie and whatever their name is, Fish, is it Abercrombie? They were horrible. They were horrible. Oh my gosh, it. They just haven't went to court yet. They'll be next. I'm sorry. This is not a channel where we do hookups to find you wives or husbands. You might need to go over to what's the show my sister be watching? Kendra. Kendra does hookups and stuff. But why is it that, and maybe this is a question that I can put out here. Why is it that we as humans, once we get power and money, prestige, clout, whatever, why is it the only things we can think of is doing is horrible things? For the most part. I'm not saying everybody. Why is it that we can't think of, you know, opening up, like we talked about earlier, homes for all the money these people were making? Why didn't they make a whole neighborhood of homes for people who were homeless, or single parents who needed a place to stay, or do some scholarships for children to go to school or whatever? Why is it that you thought of having a big old party to be able to drug people up and grape them or SA them? Adults and children. Yeah, she hit on it a little bit, but she didn't try to say that she was a victim. But her mother did it. Her mother saw her. I mean, the movie that she played in, was it Little Baby or something Baby? When she was like, what was she? She was somewhere between 10 and 12, and she was a prostitute. Who lets their daughter play a prostitute at that age? Well, there were times I couldn't pay the light bill and I wasn't selling myself, so let alone selling my child. You know what? I think it takes a certain, I don't know. Okay, y'all tell me. Because one of the questions I had was the fact that if you had unlimited resources, what is one thing you would do with the money? And everybody said positive things. I didn't see one person say that if I had unlimited resources, I would go get a whole bunch of children that the system had, that children that was waiting to be adopted, because they are saying that a lot of the children that they got to go to these parties and do stuff to were children that was in the system that nobody wanted, and that the social workers and stuff like that. But that has been proven in Texas that they have had social workers up on charges of prostituting the children that were under their care. But I didn't hear anybody say, I'm going to go get some children and we're going to have parties and SA them and grape them, or, none of this stuff. So am I to believe that I have, and I lost some subs. I don't know where y'all went. I guess since I ain't talked about McNasty lately. But am I to believe, out of the over 1,000 people who subscribe to this channel, that 80% of them, that if they became extremely wealthy like Elon Musk, that after they did some good things, the only other things they could think of to do would be some of this foolishness that we're hearing about? Can you imagine yourself doing those things? Because now you have an unlimited amount of resources, and with the money comes power. and the ability to do pretty much whatever you want to do. They didn't adopt them, big luxury. Mm-mm. You got, even we don't know how many children is in the system in each state that we live in or the city. So you have social workers who, let's say, they got 25 kids under them. Let's say we take 5 social workers, got 25 kids under them. That's 125 children. So let's say it's Friday night. They're having a party. We need some children. You got 3 out of the 5 that's crooked. So they're going to pull, let's say, 5 of their kids, each of them. So that's 15 kids. Now we're talking about children that don't have no parents, no family, nothing. They're in the system. They're waiting for somebody to want to adopt them or foster them or go to a foster home. But if they don't have a place to go, where are they going to be? They're going to be in a holding place where they have an orphanage or whatever the city or state has for them to be. So who's going to say something if a social worker come and get 5 of the kids? Nobody. If they say they're taking them to a function, they're going to take them to a Beyonce concert because somebody decided they wanted to donate 5 tickets or 15 tickets for 15 kids to go, and they pick those 15. They take them out, they take them to the party, they do whatever they want to them, they bring them back. Everybody that has to deal with those kids get paid off. Who's going to say something? Heck, we don't even have social workers that go check on all their kids in these foster homes that get killed, beat, raped, and everything else on a daily basis. So now you're going to make a little money off of it? I mean, yeah, it's very easy to do, especially with children who have been considered throwaways. That there's really no accountability for how many it is. We know that children get lost in the system on a regular. They don't get checked on. Nobody knows what happens to them. There are children that run away daily from foster homes that don't even get reported as being runaways because the foster parents are still getting a check. They may not find out for 2 or 3 years that this child is no longer there. Well, he didn't pay them directly. You know, they got middle people. He said he needs 15 girls or 7 girls, 7 boys, and then he got people to go out and do the procuring. Such as like when he would be in Florida and he would have the, what's the guy that was a promoter or whatever? He did beats, Lil Rob. Would put on the hat that had something about Diddy on it, and he would go downtown, and everybody that were, you know, men and women that sold their bodies knew that when he came down with the hat on, that he was looking for people to come to the parties. And he would, you know, do a little, we gonna pay you, blah, blah, blah. They say yes or no, and they get in the car and going back to the party with him. I do too, Martina. I do too. But you even had the people, because he did, you know, pay people, professionals to come to the parties. But even they had an issue with some of the crap that he wanted done. I, I mean, the stuff he wanted done was off the chart stuff that even people who were professionals at doing this thought it was a bit much, even for money. No, he didn't have to do that. His people knew what he wanted. Just like with Cassie and Little Rock, anybody that hung around him or worked for him knew what he wanted. If he was hiring a professional, he wanted a dark-skinned man with a big D. And that's what they were supposed to go out and get. When it came to the children, I guess he probably had a type too. And they knew that's what they wanted. It doesn't take much to have middle people to go and do what you want. Right now, where I'm at, I could hire somebody right now in every city that y'all are in right now tonight. If you wanted a child, you could buy one. We have a whole underground here. And I found out it was interesting. I had heard bits and whispers and stuff about stuff like that, but once I became a counselor and dealing with people, especially with addictions, you'd be surprised what you find out because they're out in the streets, they're getting high, they're drinking, they're procuring their whatever. They may be doing a little something, something to get whatever. I learned out about how big the trafficking was here, and we have a whole underground here at night that, like, when politicians, businessmen, people with money, average everyday citizens who can afford it, you can call and say, I want a 5-year old, and you can get one. I mean, this thing is so deep, y'all, and I don't know if y'all even want to venture over into this because there are books, magazines that they will send you to show you how to do what you want to do and not do so much damage to the child. There are whole organizations and rings that they break up on a regular, but as soon as they break up one, there's another one. This thing is deep and very, 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 very sick. And like Martin has said, this has always been going on, but for it to be so out in the open and in the forefront, it makes me think of the end of times because now it's like the demons, the imps, the workers of iniquity, they don't care no more. And they're showing us, and people aren't doing anything about it. Oh no, offenders get their kids in numerous amounts of ways, big luxury. I mean, there's numerous of ways of being able to procure a child if a child is what you want. And you look at this government that we have. Why would you think a child is safe if an adult can be picked up off the street and put on in a bus, a car, or whatever, and then put on a plane and shipped to a third world country and be left there to literally die? What's stopping anything else from happening? Oh, they've been doing that for years. A lot of they traffic. You see, there's different types of trafficking. There's trafficking for sexual favors, and then there's trafficking for, they traffic people for work. Like, you would think that all the people that are picking the crops and doing all this stuff, maybe in Florida, California, here in South Carolina, all that, are all coming here to work to help take care of their families and stuff. But no, a lot of them have been trafficked for work. That other countries send them over here, and people pay those other countries to have these people come and work, and they can't leave. They send them out to work during the day, then they lock your butt up in a place at night so that the next day you can go back out and work. When it comes to trafficking, I had to do some paper. You know, y'all know that I'm a mental health counselor, so being in the psychology field, it covers a lot of this. And so I've done a lot of papers on trafficking and how big it is. And we're talking about every country, not just the United States, every country. And it just depends on what country's doing it and what the flavor is. Meaning, for a lot of other countries, having a blonde hair, blue eyed female is a big deal. That's why you might find a lot of girls in the suburbs or a lot of younger girls who are hanging out with the wrong people because, like, they'll use other. The easiest way to traffic a young teenager or something, or a young, adolescent, is to have another one traffic them. So you have one adolescent, which is what Jeffrey Epstein were doing. They would have one girl go to her school and ask her friends, do they want to make, $75, $150 to come and just give him a massage. Even though that girl knows what's going to happen to her, she makes money off of getting these other ones. So that's what you do. You have one girl who may be dating an older guy, or, she got caught up in this group with these people, and so she goes to school and she gets her girlfriends or young girls, the type that they want, to come I mean, we could have a whole live on this if you guys want. But there's a lot to it, and it all intertwines, all of it, from what Diddy's doing to what people lower level are doing to okay, there we go. Hold on, hold on. Ooh, my knees are just cracking. Come in here, Parker. I'm coming, guys. I'm getting me some ice. You can do that outside? Okay, what did I miss? You know what? Humans are just evil, evil people. They really are. Humans are just evil, evil. Why can't I see what's on here? Why is it not showing up on my TV? Let's see. What did I do? Sorry, y'all. I'm messing with the chat, and I think I'm freezing the live up. Did I freeze it up? Am I frozen? Why is it freezing on my TV? Okay, I we are just horrible people. That's all I can say. We really are, and we're not getting any better. Seems like we're getting worse. Why is it showing up frozen on my TV though? And I really think that, it's the climate that we're in. Well, you see where those guys, do y'all remember that story where those police officers beat up that one guy and he wasn't that far from home? And now they are up on trial, but they just acquitted them. But they still got charges against them, but they just acquitted them Whatever they just went to court for, they just got acquitted. Which I was shocked. I was really shocked. And the one guy that did state's witness, I bet he wishing he hadn't now. I bet you he's wishing he hadn't. Because, yeah. But there still is a chance that they're going to do time, because whatever they just went up for, they got acquitted, but they still got to go back to court again. So we will see. What did I just answer your question on, Peaches? You know, our world is going to hell in a handbasket, and the only thing I can equate it to is what I've read in Revelations. And it's pretty scary. Because if you ever read Revelations and you see what's coming down the pike, are people bad but fighting to be good? Well, you know, we were all born into sin. I do believe that some people are just badder than others. I personally cannot see myself doing some of the things that I read about and hear about people doing. I couldn't live with myself. I would mess my own self up. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't imagine going to some of these parties that we've heard about with all these cases, or being one of those police officers and just beating this man to death for what? Because he ran? Or how we've seen where police officers, well, just like you know, with putting your foot on somebody, your knee on somebody's neck till they die. I know that we're all capable of doing this. Just like we're all capable of doing good, we're all capable of committing a murder. Everything that's in another person that they've done, we all have it in us. It's just your own self-control. Yeah. Yeah. Did y'all see that? Him doing an AI picture of him as the Pope. And then his people got on and talked about this new Pope so bad, and the man ain't been Pope a good, 72 hours. Because they didn't like some of his tweets or whatever. You gotta get up for work tomorrow. Have a great day at work tomorrow, Martina. Thank you for coming into the live. I just don't have it in me to be that evil and that cruel. I know I have the capability of doing that, but my own moral compass won't allow me to do it, as far as I know. I can't think of a situation that I could be put in to even do that, unless they put me on some crazy drugs and I didn't know that I got the drugs. I don't know. I can't even think of a situation. You know, we all know people who don't have no morals. Every last one of us knows somebody who would take things way farther than you will take things. If you don't know them now, you knew them when you were younger, or you know what I'm saying? There's always that one person that would take things too far. But I think, just like Peaches said, if you can make the choice to take things that far, you can make the choice to not take it, to stop. I don't even see how I could live with myself if I even went to a party where they were doing stuff like that to children, and then I just go home. Even if I didn't participate, even if I went and ended up in the wrong room and seen it, and I just decided, well, I'm not going to say nothing because my career and what I want to do in my life is more important than assisting that person. Like, in this day and age, people don't even help each other no more. I have a friend that lives in Atlanta, and so sometimes when they're going to work, they may be talking to me on the phone or whatever. And things like, he had told me about a situation about a week or so ago where this young girl, I guess she was probably about, I don't know, 15, 16, something like that, teenager, young teenager, was on the tram, which is a train. Older guy was just staring her. I don't know how lewd he was being, but all I could hear was this woman. I thought it was a woman, but it was a young girl, just cussing, cussing, cussing. I thought it was two people arguing. And he was like, no. The young girl was cussing the man out because of the way he was looking at her. And I don't know if he had made any comments or whatever, but she was chastising him about being such a disgusting old man and that she was a child. And he was saying, ooh, she has a horrible mouth. But I was like, she was right. Because the man didn't have nothing to say. Because I think he was taken by surprise that this young girl called him out on what he was doing. But, you know, nobody else said anything in defense of this young girl who's out here catching the train, coming from school or wherever she was coming from. Nobody stood up for her. You know, just like I was horrified when I seen the video, well, parts of it, of where the guy gets on the train in New York, the subway, no, sorry, not train, the subway, I guess the same thing, and he gets behind the lady, and she has on a dress, and he literally grapes her in front of a car full of people, pulls her dress up, pulls her underwear down, and he's graping her from the back, and she's screaming. She can't get away from him because he's locked onto her, and nobody assisted her, but everybody pulled out their phones and was doing this. I guess somebody did finally go tell the conductor or whatever, because they did have whatever the train police are. But nobody assisted her. And you know what everybody said? Because they were trying to, I don't know if they were able to do it, but they were trying to bring up the people that videotaped on their phones, bring them up on charges too. But everybody said was they didn't want to get involved because they didn't know what was going to happen. They could have gotten hurt. So you mean to tell me if there was 10, 15, 20, I don't even know how many people was on the dang in the car. All of them couldn't have got together and stopped this one man from doing what he was doing to that woman? How do you stand there and watch that? I'm just floored at the things that goes on in our world. They had a one where the lady had gotten off the train, was on the what do y'all call it up there in the city? The where they wait at? Guy, crazed out of his mind, literally jumps on the back of her, starts raping her on the concrete, and people are taping it. And of course, the cameras inside the subway area was taping it. And nobody did anything. But you weren't too scared to stand and watch and tape, but you was too scared to get involved. Stop it. Stop it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, sorry guys, I'm trying to block the door so Mr. Parker can't go out. I guess I would probably be dead because I would be involved and I guess I would get hurt. I guess that's where things are, because I could not stand back and watch this happening to another woman and not get involved. But, you know, if you got time to videotape, and then I'm thinking, nobody's calling 911. Everybody's busy trying to tape it so they can put it on YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. So they can get a viral video. And see, that's where the money comes in at. Our country is so money hungry. That's all we care about in the United States. And I'm not, when I say that, I mean as a whole, not everybody. We're all about self and making it. We don't care what we do to somebody else as long as we make it. Look at your job. For those of you who still work, how many people that work know somebody at their job that would stab them in the back to get a promotion, to get a raise, to tell on them to get them in trouble with the boss? We had that happen here. It was so sad too. I want to say the lady was like in her 80s, and her son lived with her, but he had some type of disability. But because she was older, and I didn't even know they had this, where you can put a box outside your door and you can put your key in it so that you don't lose your key. Sort of like a lockbox, like they have on houses when you're going to look at a house that you want to buy. And so I don't know how the guy was able to get the code or whatever. I don't know if he just broke it off, but he got into the house. He had been raping the woman all night almost. The son had been up for part of it, but because he had his TV so loud, he really couldn't hear his mom. And because he had a disability, he couldn't assist her. When the guy finally left and the woman was able to call somebody, they did eventually catch him because she was the second older woman. You know, and you think about that. Like, I'm 62, going on 63. But as you get older, you say to yourself, who would want to rape a 91-year-old woman? Well, because it's not about sex, it's about the power. And she's easy prey. Same reason why they do children, because they're easy prey. And our country could care less about young children and old people. They don't care. You heard during COVID, when our luxurious president now was in charge, that they were saying that it's okay if the older people went ahead and, died from COVID because they had already lived their life. It was okay. You just let them kick the bucket. It's all right. Uh, our society is so messed up. I'm telling you. When you compare the United States moral compass and our society compared to Asian countries and Indian countries and all the other countries, and not to say each country has its own thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. But our moral compass is so off. It is so, so off. For us to have as many churches, as many religions, as many pastors, priests, rabbis, ministers, evangelists, teachers, preachers, for us to have all these people who were supposed to be God's people in our country. I mean, in any given city, you got at least 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 churches on one street. And yet, this is the hot mess that we're in. Because it's all about self and money. Self and money. And the sad thing is, no matter how much you accumulate while you're here, you can't take none of it with you. None of it transcends over with you. So I don't care how big a house you buy, how many cars you have, how many designer clothes, purses, shoes, and if you still buying them from the stores and stuff, and after finding out what China done told us, you crazy. But no matter what, you cannot take any of that stuff with you. But you are willing to literally sell your soul for all of it. Yeah. Because they don't care about children. I mean, look at the stuff with Shannon Sharp. You are now literally about to lose everything that you ever worked for behind a 19-year-old because you had issues. And guys, I hate to say it, and I'm not saying women don't do it, but you don't see many women who work really, really. I mean, how many women in politics have you heard lost their position because of a young intern they're messing with, male or female? How many female athletes have you heard losing lucrative contracts and the money that they have behind doing stuff to somebody? You know, I and don't get me wrong, women do this. There are women in power who do this, but I have yet to see as many women lose what they've worked for behind foolishness like this. I mean, Shannon Sharp his butt ought to be whooped. I mean, because he's only worth like, I think it's 30 million he's worth, and this woman wants 50. She wants more than what you're worth because they were looking at the fact that he was getting ready to get, I think, $100 million contract with ESPN or somebody. But Disney will never hire him back. ESPN and Disney aren't taking him back. He done messed that up. And here it was, um, the comedian, Martin to go on now, little short guy, helped put him on the map with his interview. He made $6 million off of that interview with Cat Williams. That's what I said, Lovecraft. Ooh, Shannon Sharp, yeah. But they say that he has an issue. Friends and family are now saying that he has an issue that apparently back in the day when he was in high school, he's always had a thing for Caucasian women. He liked some girl. She told him he was too dark and too ugly, and so he's had a thing like that. So once he had money and all that, he still dated Caucasian women, but he would have them do. And I had no idea that there was some type of thing called what is it, race something, where you have the other person call you out of your race and stuff, race play. And so he has these females, I guess call them blackie. I don't know what the heck they call them. But yeah, because that's his thing. Even though he married an African American woman, had African American children, I can only imagine what his young adult children are thinking. But sir, you had enough money to go get yourself some help and not be paying folks to treat you bad. Yeah, Monique was on his show and told him he needed to get a woman his age to make him some. I want to say that she say not the banana pun. I think she said peach cobbler or something. But he said that. Matter of fact, he didn't say it to her, but the show that he does with a Chocho or Chucho or whatever the other guy name is, he said, shouldn't his money buy him what it is that he wants? And it did. It's buying you the loss of all you worked for all these years. Everything you done made in the NFL that you got left over, all the money you was making on these sports shows and stuff, the only thing he got left now is the Shannon Sharp show. But if this 19-year-old brings him down, how many people really gonna watch him? What y'all think? Baby, I think he's bi. I think he won't say he's bi because he comes from the South and he's this big old African American man that played football. He ain't never gonna admit to that. But if that's what you want to do, then you don't go around graping the people you're paying for. You know what I'm saying? Pay them for what they're willing to do. And I'm sure there's one out there that will fulfill that role of you pretending like you're graping her. That's all I'm saying. But see, they don't want to pay for what it is that they are having these people do. They want to always go outside the box. just like they tried to tell him. Even though they were having a consensual relationship, he was paying her. I don't know. My thing is, okay, she was selling herself. He was paying you for a service. If she says no, I don't care if she went to men and women. Hear me. If you're in any form of a consensual relationship where there's a booty call, you're paying somebody, your partner, your wife, your husband, your whatever. I don't care if y'all have been intimate 10,000 times. On the 10,001 time, if they say no, it's still a no. It's not Lovecraft. It is not. After COVID, it was like Pandora's box is open. Literally yesterday, I got six, and that's just the six that I saw. I didn't even go down the list. Six job requests for me to go back into doing therapy. And I just actually went and got me a part-time job. Y'all say why? I don't have to. Hold on. But y'all know after everything that happened with the guy I was with, what I found was that I need to get out of the house more, which I have been doing. I do stuff on the weekend, but I needed to I work from home. You know, I'm always here. And at one time, I was just working and hanging out with y'all. So I felt that for me, it would be healthy for me to get out, interact with people a little bit more. So I don't know if y'all heard of Cato's. It's a clothing store for women. I always liked the store. So I was like, oh, I'll just get me a little part-time job there. Child, they don't pay nothing. Nothing. I can't believe. I don't see how people survive on what they're paying. But I'm using it as a way to get out. And then y'all know I'll probably end up spending my little paycheck back up in Cato's because we get a 20% discount. But I was looking at yesterday after they done sent me 10 job requests about back to being a counselor. I was thinking about maybe doing some part time because one of the ones was assisting women who have been SA'd or raped, and they need somebody in the afternoon, and they need somebody to be an escort with them to go to the hospital and all that kind of stuff. And it was something I had been looking at for a while, and so I'm thinking about maybe doing that a couple of weekends just to get myself back in because I do miss doing what I was doing, and it's just to me it's a good service for me to be able to be there to assist somebody because this other job ain't paying nothing. The lady was so happy I came in, child. She hired me on the spot. Um, Cause y'all know I'm a Jackie of all trades, so I have a lot of history and a lot of different things. So I don't know. I may not be out here on live as much because I'm trying to make myself totally debt free again by the end of the year. So that move kind of set me back because it cost me quite a bit to have to move. With me and my foolishness for having so much stuff and a last minute move. So I'm just trying to finish paying my car off, some things just to get myself totally set because I don't know which way this orange man is going. So I need to have myself financially secure. So that's why I'm a little tired tonight is because I've been getting up at 4, working overtime at the job I have now. And see, y'all know I'm a workaholic, so I'll get up at 4 and work this job plus overtime, and then this place is only open till 7. And so by 7:30, I will be back home. So I told her I only wanted 20 hours. Mm-hmm. He don't care what happened to us. I'm just trying to figure out, are we that gullible in the United States? We're supposed to be a superpower. Our country is supposed to be the place to be that everybody wants to go to. We are the top tier. Are we that gullible in the United States that people literally believe this man? They could not see past that orange tan to see that he was lying to them. And that's the scary part because there is still, with everything going on, they were showing that he still has a 37% rating and the Democrats have a 30% rating. That says that even today, probably if they took another vote, it's a good possibility that he could win again, even with all the stuff he's doing. Baby, he had me so upset last month as he hit VA, my 401k, my stock that I have. I'm like, sir, I'm gonna need you to stop. I'm gonna have to start praying against you. I really am, because I'm gonna have to need this all my retirement stuff. You messing with, so I need to put myself in a financial situation where I am totally debt free, because I don't know, and we ain't even did a year. We ain't even done 6 months. We still got 3 years and some. What do we got? 3 years and pretty much 6.5 months to go of this foolishness. Martin was telling us that Lovecraft. They don't care who they arrest. And see, this is the part that's now getting people to understand. They thought when they voted him in, they thought it was all about race and stuff. This man don't care nothing about race. He cares about money and power. And the majority of the people that voted for him don't have either one. He will cart your Caucasian butt up just like he will an Asian, a Hawaiian, an African American, a Mexican, a Guatemalan, whoever, and put you in jail because he can. Because he can. And child, I wouldn't get on a plane to save my life right now. The FAA, this stuff going on in New Jersey. How many of y'all live in New Jersey or live close to New Jersey? I have never heard of the fact that the air traffic controllers could not get in contact with pilots by radio or by radar. They didn't even know where the planes were. That is crazy to me. And that they're still using freaking floppy disks. Who? I don't even know. I used to have some floppy disks years ago. I think I've gotten rid of them all. Who is still using? We are not even using floppy disks at our homes. Thank you, Recessionista. I touch and agree with you in the name of Jesus. The FAA is still using floppy disks and passing each other papers, writing on paper where the destination of certain aircraft are. What is this foolishness? Remember when I posted that stuff about 2025? Nobody wanted to hear about it. Nobody wanted to read it. They thought I was being too political and everything. And look where we at now. I ain't getting on no plane. And my aunt wanted to go to Dubai this year. No, ma'am, I will not be on no plane flying from here to France, from France to Dubai. Mm-mm. You can't get me on a plane from here to Atlanta. You cannot. And Delta is the airline we was going through, and they planes doing all kind of foolishness. I'm just like, nope, 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 nope. I am sorry. No. There is just nothing going right in our country right now. From, oh, I didn't tell y'all. What time is it? Okay, it's 10:08. You know what it reminded me of in the Bible? Before we had kings and the people called out, they had to have a king, they wanted a king, they wanted a king. And then they got Saul, who wasn't a good king. And then the prophet told it to them, oh, but y'all wanted a king, this is what you get. Everybody cried out, we want the orange man, we want the orange man. Not all of us. And look, and the orange man is treating everybody the same, like crap. This is how bad things are. And see, I know people look at me and they say, "Oh, she drinks and she smokes and she's all this and all that." Well, the only person I have to answer to is the Lord, and He knows who I am. And it's going to be funny that we all may be in line and they may hear that Deborah gets to go in, and some people who wasn't doing the drinking and smoking don't. Because guess what? He's the one that gets to decide whether I get to go in or not. But I went to the beach and I showed y'all little clips and us at the beach. So on the way back, I was low on gas. So I was like, you know what? Let me pull over. Let me get off the highway and pull over and get some gas. Yeah, I think it was like maybe, I don't know, 40 minutes from Columbia. Stopped in this little town called Bowman. Never been there before. Just pulled off the exit and went to the first gas station. So, okay, so let's say that this hand here is the pump. And then over here was like a medium where they had like trees and bushes and stuff that they had as a decorative little medium. And you could come in on one side of the medium or come in the other way. So I get off the exit, I come in, the car that was here, you know, you got the two pumps, there was one car there. The car that was here behind the first pump pulls off. I'm coming in from this side of the medium and I pull up to the pump. Well, there was a car coming from the other side that was going to pull in and go to the pump too. I didn't see them because you got the trees and the bushes. Do you know this man got so mad? Matter of fact, I wasn't even paying attention. I'm busy trying to pull my SUV up to the pump, and that's what I'm concerned about. But my sister, who was in, I think she was in the back. Yeah, she was in the back. She was like, do you see him? Well, the guy that pulled in from the other side got so upset that I whipped into and got that pump before him that he was cussing and fussing, and he gave me the finger, not once, but twice. I couldn't even get to my phone quick enough because y'all know I would have videotaped him and he would have been on YouTube. And my sister was like, "Do you see him giving you the finger?" I'm trying to figure out why you so upset because this is one of those gas stations off of the highway. So they must have had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 freaking pumps. There was going to be one that you could get to, but he was so upset at me for whipping in there that he gave me the finger. And of course, he was not of my persuasion. And so when I got out, I was trying to figure out where he was. My sister was like, he was all the way at the very end. But for him to get that upset about me pulling in, for him to give me the finger, just says that shows the climate of where we are at in the United States. That this man felt that it was okay to give me the finger because I got to the pump before him. I had to wonder, would he have done that had it been a car full of African American men? Or would he have done that had it been a car full of Caucasian men? Or would he would have done that had it been a car of Caucasian men and women? Because the woman that was in the front seat with him had her head down when I looked up. Because, yeah, I know you're embarrassed because you're in there with an idiot. An idiot, total idiot. That you got that upset about me whipping in. I didn't even see him. Didn't see him at all because he was coming from the other way. That's what my sister was saying, recessionista. But then now, what would it have been for us to be out there having a shootout over a gas pump at a gas station? And I'm glad I had my wits about me that day because we had a great day at the beach and all that. But my thing was, had he come over from his pump and said something to me, it was going to be off and popping. Behind getting gas? That's crazy. But that's how angry and hostile people are. And I still say it's because of what we got over this country right now. Mm-hmm. My sister lives in Michigan and they've been looking to buy a house. She said they went to look at a house the other day and a little Asian woman on a bicycle rolled up on them and wanted to know what they were doing at the house and was the house for sale. Was it any of her business? No, it was not. And she's in Michigan. Um, so it's not just here in the South, it's up north too. It's everywhere. In the Bible, it says the sins of the fathers trickle down, goes through the generations, what's over the head. It talks about the oil trickles down. I can't remember the scripture. Maybe somebody got it where it talks about the oil trickling down the beard, and pretty much it's saying what's over the head falls down to everybody else. And whether you want to believe in the Bible or whatever or not, what is over the United States right now affects everybody underneath it. And people who believe like that feel like it's open season for them to act and do what they want. I have a Karen that lives across the street from me. Let me tell you something. Ever since I moved into this place, from the first day she seen me pull up with me with a key coming in the door, she been watching me. I never knew what she looked like. So one day she was outside with her dog, walking her dog. I was getting out of my car and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" This is what she said to me. She said, and turned her head and went in. So I was just like, "What's up with this crazy woman?" So when my sister brought me the aloe vera plant, her and my nephew came over, and she said that the woman whipped in front of her because the parking spaces in the front anybody can park. And then when she got out, she said she spoke to the woman. The woman did the same thing to her. I'm like, she crazy as hell. She literally brings her dog in the morning across the street to piss in my yard. No lie. I'm standing there in the window looking at her. So you know that's what I'm going to do from now on? I'm going to open the door and say, "Good morning." And then maybe I should take Parker across the street and let him pee on her yard. Child, people is crazy nowadays. Crazy. I rewatched The Officer and the Gentleman today. It was so good. I always love that movie. And I also rewatched, dang it. It was Officer and a Gentleman and, shoot, I can't remember what the second movie was. But it was a rewatch. Girl, these people is off the chain. Off the chain. I am going to talk about Sinners. I know some of y'all said y'all didn't want to watch it. I'm going to go see it again. I told my son I'm going to take him. I really, really enjoyed it. Tashana said her and Troy watched it twice. I'm going to go see it a second time. It is a really good movie. I'm not even Parker, stop it. I'm not a Michael B. Jordan fan, but the movie was good. Cut it out. I said I'm gonna stand out there and see what she do when I stand in my yard while she bringing her dog across the street. I didn't know it was her when I spoke to her that day, but I was like, "Baby, you got the wrong one. I ain't never gotta speak to you," and I don't. When I get out my car and she be standing in her door looking at me, when I get out my car, I stand at my door and I look at her because I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm sure not. I don't care if you get mad about however many of us move over here, but I ain't going nowhere. Oh, just like these people, sometimes they will try to take you somewhere that you don't want to go. But I just have to stay prayed up because I was like, "Lord, I don't need to go to jail. I'm too old. I'm too old to be going to somebody's jail or their prison." I said I was going to do that recessionista because the other morning I was standing there. She didn't know I was watching her. I was standing because I like to open the doors and the windows and stuff in the morning when I get up. And I was standing there in the window because I just opened the window. And I'm watching her bring the dog over. And I'm like, "Oh, so you got a whole yard, but you're going to bring your dog across the street to piss in my yard." Okay. Okay, I got you, ma'am. I got you. I'm telling you, this world is getting crazy. You got to watch your back, your front, your sides, because you never know who's going to flip off about whatever reason. And you know if I get her on video, y'all going to see it. All right. We done been on here 2 hours or so. I gotta get up and do lunch with my grandbaby tomorrow and catch up on what's going on in the preteen world. I hadn't seen her for a minute. She's just so busy. She has such a busy schedule now. So for her to slot some time, she told me that she could do lunch between 12 and 2. Now this is a preteen. She could slot grandma in between 12 and 2. So I guess I better have my old stuff ready. And then I'm supposed to go. I'm in the young lady that I showed y'all that went to the beach with me and my sister. Her sister's getting remarried to her ex-husband, and for some reason she wants to do a big wedding. So she um, asked me would I be in the wedding. So I told her yes. So we're supposed to go dress hunting tomorrow. I done told her, ma'am, she done got a wedding coordinator, all this stuff. I done told her I am not spending a whole lot of money on no dang on dress. And then she wants us all to wear the same type dress, which I'm like this at this point. I think if you're getting married brides to be, let your wedding party wear the same color, but let them wear dresses that complements their body because we're not all the same size. Just just food for thought. Just food for thought for those of you who may be getting married. Get your face out of there. All right, guys, I have enjoyed this live. We have, as usual, covered a gambit of topics and things. I hope you guys have enjoyed the live too. It hadn't been one of our rip roaring, me getting totally toe up ones. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow and do that. um, I don't know, because me and my sister are going to the drag brunch on Sunday. Yeah, he wants to go outside, Lovecraft, and he's not. We are going to a drag brunch on Sunday for Mother's Day. I went one time before with her. They do a great show. The food is awesome, and I'm having me a couple of little mimosas. So I took pictures last time and posted them, and then I took them down. But I might do. I don't know if they let you videotape. I might try to do a little videotaping. So you guys have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. If I don't come back on until next week, and yeah, do something fun. Get out the house. Go for a walk. Go to lunch or dinner with somebody that you haven't been out to lunch, because we all work and do so many things. Go have lunch or dinner with your kids. I love the fact that Tashana's watching a movie with her kids. If your kids aren't there or you don't have children, go have lunch or dinner with a friend. Go do something. You know, do something to celebrate yourself this weekend. Me and Parker love you guys so much. You want to come say bye? Come here. Come here. Y'all know how antisocial he is. You want to say bye to the Parker posse? Say good night. Good night. Lovecraft, I'm so glad to see you. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. Thank you for being in the live. And me and Parker say we love you. He's sending kisses to you guys. I'm just getting them. And we will see y'all on the next live. Good night.